there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the American Civil War mod. Last time around I hinted a little bit that this would be the last video, and that definitely will be the last video, as we're about to take on and take the last settlement that the Union holds. It's a rather large battle, and yeah, without further ado, I think we'll go just straight into it, shall we? And there isn't much to say here in the start, as this was just cavalry sent forward, so I was able to complete it without ending turn. Right, let's just go ahead and start then. So all of the troops holding the town, state militias. However, I only have cavalry to start off with. I thought I'd set it up so that I wasn't gonna get the generals. We're not gonna need the supporting generals, so we can send these guys off. The rest of the things we can bring up to the field. It's gonna be quite a long battle, since I'm planning on bringing in most of the army. Cannons. Could send the cavalry to deal with those. So we'll have the dragoons march around. So there's a town, and beyond the town there's a high ground that we need to get to. This seems suspiciously similar to another crucial American Civil War battle. Well, there's some high ground beyond the town, and we need to get there before the Union entrenches that high ground. Similar. Right, we've got troops coming in from all sides. Unfortunately though, it's not Lee, but maybe that's it's gonna help us actually, that Lee is not in command of this. I don't know if we'll actually be able to get at the artillery, given that we have enemy reinforcements coming in there. I think we'll stop the dragoons over here. I really would want to spare the townfolk being part of the battle, but I don't think that's gonna happen, unfortunately. So we're gonna hold here. I don't think there's any point in moving all the way down to the logs. As you can see, they're kind of sunken down too far. Could hold them on this side, but not on this side. So I guess we could send this unit to actually move up all the way to the logs. But then for the other two, we wouldn't be able to get there. Let's see, the artillery reaches quite far, but I would be hoping to bombard even further up this slope, and at least encompassing all of the town. We've got 3 smaller groups. Gonna deploy them on the left. We've got quite a lot of troops coming in here. The artillery will set them right there. And then these large infantry units in front, smaller ones in the back. We've got a very strange mix of all kinds of troops. Right, artillery. Don't think we can get any closer to the enemy. So right there we have it. We're really starting to set up. Getting this cavalry units off to the far right to set up their position there. And can't really see if the Union is concentrating their troops in any specific location as of yet. Quite a bit of troops moving around town. It actually seems to be they seem to give up this side of town and they might be preparing to set up over here. Which could be that we need to move this side. This is the side that needs to move up towards the enemy, and this side is where the artillery needs to advance as well. So I think we'll continue forward to push the enemy on this side and gain ground. And I'll not deploy this artillery piece. We'll actually try to move it closer and just use the support of these cannons. We're already it's the artillery piece there that's giving up already, since they lost a third of their unit. Keep at it, boys! Got volunteer, Hoods, Texans, and Irish, followed by Louisiana Zouaves, and just Confederate Zouaves. So far, the enemy battery hasn't opened fire yet, and they've got quite a bit of more cannons than I do, or at least they had more cannon units. What we would want to do is be able to move close enough that we actually can shout. Oh, they've got a really good entrenched position here up on top, with a wall going straight across here, with impossible terrain in front. If this was actually clever commanded, this would be a very difficult area to attack, with how they with the area they control there. Looks like we managed to get rid of this artillery piece. We can focus in on some other units. Probably gonna set fire to the village, given how much artillery fire we put into it. Let's go ahead and have the cannons aim for a few other enemy artillery pieces, and not just trying to shoot the one that's retreating. Ah, we've got some fire going, and it's our men shooting our own, because an enemy general decides that he was going to be stupid enough to charge at the Texans, which seems very foolhardily. Right, there's really nothing here to stop us continuing forward there. What's going on this side? The enemy is pushing forwards. Interesting. I'm gonna push these men up to make sure that we hold the flank, as the enemy is going to go straight for this kind of entrenched position we hold here, with the artillery just beyond, ready to blast them to shit if necessary. Ah, they are returning fire with an artillery piece I can't actually reach with my artillery. Oh, you know what? I think they're firing my artillery. That's not good. That's not good at all. So let's see if we can't advance and dislodge those Union troops and take that battery before they're able to cause too much damage. We'll have this cavalry unit stand next to the artillery, and then the larger unit, partisans, moving forward. Okay, they're not actually aiming for the cannon, they're aiming for the infantry. And we just lost a ton of... Okay, the artillery will hold its fire and then reselect to fire over here as the enemy is advancing. Coming into range with these guys, and this battery will now deploy. The enemy gets the first shots off on the Hood Texans, but we are able to respond quite heavily. But not actually as heavily as the enemy though, so we need to get these guys quickly into position to surround the enemy. And I definitely need this artillery to start blasting the enemy. Over on this side, the enemy is advancing across open ground to try and get at us. I am not so sure that this one's going to do a lot, so I'm going to actually move them back here. And they'll be able to fire above these guys to hit the enemy. They're trying to advance right here in the open, which, as we can see, is not going too well. Union Irish Brigade. This is not going to go well, especially since these units are quite weak. So these infantry units will pull back, and then we'll rely on the cavalry to sweep those guys away. Right, now we put twice the amount of muskets down on the enemy. Should be able to break through there. On this side, we've sent away the 5th State Militia, and we will continue our advance on the enemy. The partisans, I feel confident enough to send them in. And we will try not to blast the partisans as they are going for the artillery. 20th Maine. It's be difficult to hold those guys off, right? Gonna send in one of the cavalry units to cut those guys down. At the same time, we've got... here we go. Let's get that artillery. Charge of the partisans. And the enemy was just about to retreat and relocate this artillery, which, as we can see, did not go too well because we completely destroyed that unit. And with having completed their mission, they need to pull back, and I can tell the artillery to open fire again and fire at infantry targets. Right, nice. The Union Irish Brigade was run over by the cavalry and defeated. We've got regular infantry firing down on the cavalry, so they will retreat to this field over here. I'm not entirely sure why these decided to regroup, but they have a very nice view of the field from here, where they can punish the enemy as they try to come across the open field. On the same side, well, not on the same side, on the other side I should say, we've got a small regiment there of 100 men. Try to push into the village here. Get some ground over here. We have back here Union Iron Brigade. Can I get some artillery support to blast that unit away? Hurry into position, and then you can actually pass through and get to this position. Not entirely sure what the enemy unit's doing right now. Deciding to move forwards into our musket fire and artillery. And they're forced to retreat. So I can advance all these units even further. I can have the cavalry move up and actually claim the high ground. Oh, they're moving a lot more men into the village now. Do I have any more? I have nothing else to send in there. But the thing is, they're relocating the troops they had for this attack, moving them towards the village. I can send this unit in through here. tell all the artillery pieces, hold the fire, and then reselect. Accidentally, we have brought down one of the houses of the town. They're probably not too happy that we're fighting all around the town. Small unit of Iron Brigade is holding over there. Oh shit. That most likely was friendly fire, where the commander was killed here in the Stonewall Brigade. But they're holding on bravely. Even though it looks like they're kind of outnumbered against the 20th Maine and other Union troops. And we're kind of shooting on our own men here, so we'll have to tell the artillery to fire at something else. Fire at the Irish. Stonewall Brigade is holding its position as the enemy tries its best to send us away. But that did not go too well for them. Let's try to gain some ground on that Irish Brigade. We've got a kind of fresh unit that hasn't really taken that much damage, ready to move them in. Ooh, state militia. Don't know why they've clumped into such a massive lump over there. Should imagine that these guys, it's a pretty easy target for the artillery. And also for the troops up on the hill. I'm noticing something over here. You know what? We want to go back to that unit in the forest. Damn it, I can't see them. There, it's the general's unit. Looks like we actually... We did manage to get some really nice hits. I'm noticing here that this artillery piece is under attack by a general. Don't know who it is, but he's killing off the general. Luckily I did store these guys over here, but that did not go too well. Okay, the partisans need to fall back. They're not able to fight there. Swaves move in among the houses. The Irish Brigade was sent away. And we will continue our advance and actually claim the town at this point. Kinda need help here. So we'll retarget the artillery towards these. I'm hoping my cavalry unit will deal with this general. Irvin McDowell. Pretty sure they will. He's already kinda breaking down. What unit? Oh, it's the cannon unit. Probably is not gonna come back. These guys were forced away. I'm not entirely sure if these guys even had the time to fire, or if it was just the artillery that sent them away. Gonna tell the artillery to focus in on the next unit, and the infantry units to move beyond town. As we have now more or less secured it. This unit that needs to go. Oh, you know what? This is probably not going to go too well, actually. Swaves will retreat to the house. As kind of a distraction, I'll send in the cavalry. Confederate Swaves rushing in to take defensive positions inside the building. The Louisiana Swaves will stand on the outside to fight. And hopefully with some good artillery support, we'll be able to clear this forest and send more men up to deal with the enemy up here. Louisiana Zouaves are not going to be able to hold that fight, so I want them to retreat back to the barn. But I'm afraid they'll probably retreat off the field at this point. They've lost so many men. Really close quarter fighting over here. It's going to be nasty though once the Irish Brigade actually opens fire on us. Hopefully though, they might just be forced to retreat before that. Or at least that's the hope.
Battalion forward!
Our own Irish Brigade is about to open up on the Union Irish. I don't think that's happened before in this campaign. The Irish must switch to attack the state militia. We're gonna switch these guys to aid over there. These guys need to come out here to aid, get rid of this guy. And I've secured 2 of the houses. We're firing from within the buildings, and the enemy right now is not returning fire on us, or at least not the guys in the building. It's the Irish down there which they are fighting. It's gonna be trouble though, because these guys are a lot more than the Irish. This one's not really helping, and the enemy is starting to bombard the house. Hoods, Texans, we really need support now. So we're gonna advance these troops over here. And then we're gonna have to see how we are to defeat the enemy on the hill. Our cavalry is forced to pull back, or try to fight the Ufage cavalry then. I guess it's not that bad. Going through here to kind of cross up the hill is not going to work, I don't think. So what you will do is you will move up just so you can support, maybe shoot at the cavalry. Okay, Hoods, Texans is pulling back. They've lost too many men. And there's a lot of enemy infantry coming over here, and also they have a lot of artillery, which I can't fire counter battery at them because they're too far away. However, we can fire at the colored infantry and the Union Zouaves that are coming down the hill. So these 3 units are going to be able to lay fire in from the flank over here. These 2 will be able to join to add to the line here. Okay, the guys that I sent the guys that I sent into the house are actually setting up in the house. We go. What's this? Massachusetts. So it's more colored infantry. This house is heavily under fire. This infantry unit needs to pull back through town, and hopefully we can expect support from the house. We've got some Texans. Texas Rangers. You know what? We need to send in this cavalry to deal with those 2 artillery pieces. And we must extend the line here, as most of the units that were part in the capturing of town has now had enough. It's kind of pulling back. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of fire. And the Zouaves that took the house needs to retreat immediately before the house collapses on top of them. They're already shattered. I wonder if I can... You know what? The Texas Rangers is probably needed against those colored infantry coming in here. They're hitting this house as well. However, my dragoons will be able to hit these guys. And the state militia. I think the state militia will be able to fire at my infantry or my cavalry though before they arrive, or my dragoons. Ooh, and just as they're about to hit, a battle crashes. Nice. Back after that crash, and I have more or less been able to play up to the point where we would have crashed the amount of troops and so forth killed by the killed by the enemy, not by the enemy, but the enemy troops that they would have lost. The enemy troops they would have lost. The troops that they would have lost if the battle wouldn't have crashed, and the reinforcement and so forth. It's didn't actually go at all the same, because this is actually third time I'm trying this. So yeah, but it kinda went similar, but not really in the same way. I think this would be the last. I'm still a little bit worried that I might crash, but as we can see, we are kind of clearly poised for victory. Oh, these guys are out of ammo, that's why they're not firing. There's no point in having you up by the wall then. Try to get these guys so they're not actually in the forest when we shoot at them. Let's move forward. Oh, you rallied? Good. Why don't you set up here just in case? And then the howitzer can fire on the unit that's moving in a thick formation back there. The Texas Rangers gonna move in and strike them from the back. Unfortunately, yeah, at this point I'm a little bit tired. Not just because, like, annoyed tired, but like tired because I've played this so much. Just this battle. And I was quite annoyed. The first battles always, they're usually the best ones, with the best commentary and the best close-ups and so forth. And then after each increment of me losing the battle or having it crash for me, the more I just like I stay at sort of this angle, so far away from the actual action, and since I can't even remember if I said, like, if I have some historical fact or whatever, or just repeating myself, so it's kind of annoying. Luckily though, this will be the last campaign video for this, so I'm lucky in that way. Hoods, Texans, Stonewall Brigade, loads of troops ready to take on the enemy. 55th Union Colored Infantry. I was gonna say this is the 54th Massachusetts, but this is the 55th Colored Infantry, getting absolutely shredded as they maneuver into a very bad spot in front of so many muskets and artillery and so forth. Probably gonna shoot that. Probably gonna blow that house to smithereens with all the artillery we're firing. State militia, not entirely sure what they're thinking. Suicide Brigade. This one I told to fire canisters. Why don't you fire canister on this blob? And yeah, they're retreating as well. The only thing that's left are those units in the middle of town, which have also decided to cluster in a really nice way. Are they within range of this artillery piece? Not yet. But they will be soon, so we can lay even more artillery fire on them. We'll have these Texans move in. Maybe. Or maybe I'll just line everyone up here. Ready to shoot them to crap as they come within range. And then in case... Oh, we'll move the cavalry away. Let's not have them there to... With just a few artillery shots, the entire unit is reduced to nothing, leaving only one Union unit left. So the last ones, the last unit to defend the Union is gonna be the 54th Massachusetts. Gonna tell the artillery to hold fire, and then we're gonna have all pieces target these guys. We'll tell these guys to hold their fire and then move to be ready to cover the enemy's advance. As they're about to come down there. Nice. Let's see. Have I deployed? Telling these guys to deploy.
Battery reporting.
Go on, deploy your cannons. Okay, they're bugged out. Never mind that then. We still have plenty of artillery to deal with you guys, and looks like they're gonna make the stand right there. Oh, it's just out of reach for most of my units, so we're gonna have to advance into them. They're protected from this artillery piece by the house, but the ones on this side, it's quite a nice view. And now let's have the stone wall fire as well. And rather quickly we can see that they're falling apart. Not entirely sure why they decided to make the unit thicker, to make it just a greater target, and they're broken. They run just as the artillery goes ahead and explodes all around them. Well, at least it looks like they're gonna get at least 100 men, so a third of the unit is still gonna be able to get out of there. But yeah, there we have it. It didn't really go like the one I actually showed you, but close enough. And as we can see, there's a lot of people dead here in the final stand. Probably should have told these guys to hold fire at this point, but they can't seem to hit these guys anyways. The last shot. I wish they just could hit there so they'd take away the flag. Oh, one last shot. One last shot comes in. Boom! And just as I wanted, the American flag is gone. And the Confederacy has won. I kind of realized there that for the last bit of that battle, I hadn't actually hadn't actually set the music on, so. But here it's back. Looking at the statistics, it wasn't. We didn't have that big an advantage. I mean, well, compared to the battles leading up to the final one, but still enough that I could quite comfortably defeat the enemy. They lost more or less everything, with only having about 1,000 men managed to get away. Out of our 8,000 men that were deployed, 2,000 of them were lost. Highest killers goes to actually Confederate Partisan Rangers, 400. Cavalry first infantry unit is Hood's Texans. Oh, Beauregard, having lost 6 men, but somehow he managed to kill 201 enemies, which I'm not entirely sure how when that happened. I guess he stood in the way of retreating Union troops, but even then, 200 without me actively telling him to chase down enemy units seems I don't know what happened there. Worst, one Confederate... Oh, these were a lot of... So the worst one that actually took part in the battle is the Louisiana Zouaves. They lost a large part of the unit, only killing 29, but they did pretty well in the one that I actually showed you guys when we saw them fight. So there we have it. The Union is gone. Gonna see the reinforcements retreating, and boom! The Union is no more. Central New York has been captured. The nation of United States has been destroyed, and in so doing, the campaign is over. There is no point in continuing this, since the enemies I have left, the United Kingdom, they have unmodded troops, so that would be quick just run over, and kind of pointless to have that sort of drawn out fight against them. Same with Mexico. What I could do is, you know what I could do is I could go ahead and continue playing, and then just I'll do the goodbye speech as I always do, when we can show almost a completely grey map. So that's think what I will do. Right, so there we have it. It actually took me, as you can see by the date, 1865. It actually took me almost longer to go out to these very remote locations. I mean, walking this distance, it took so long, and yeah. So it's 1865, but I've created the Confederate Empire, as you can see. I could have probably extended it even further, but as you see, I've only been able to take, you know, Canada and this part of Mexico. I could probably have pushed through and gotten everything, but it was gonna take so long to actually do that I decided against it. It's just too much. So with that said, we're gonna end it right here. I don't think this is gonna be the last video of this mod, however. I think I will try to go ahead and reinstall with the absolutely latest version of this, the one that I tried in the beginning that crashed, and I will try to maybe do some custom battles with the Confederates against Mexico and against Great Britain to sort of symbolize my conquest of Canada and of Mexico. But for now, this is it. The Confederacy has been created into a massive American empire, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!